everyone, and thank you, Mark, Kersten, and the Wayamo Foundation for having me on this rather unusual and fun and long-distance event. The first question I've been asked has been about what has been the greatest success in international justice in the past year. I would find it difficult not to pick the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparation Commission in the Gambia. It's been the story in 2019 and 20. There's hardly been a week without spectacular information coming out of it, or at least some valuable information that we could extract from the hearings and that was made public. It would also be hard not to qualify it as a success, not in a naive sense, but in a sense that it acts, it delivers, it's live, it's very alive, and it raises questions that it does try to answer. So for me, it's been the most exciting international justice event and justice adventure in the past 18 months. The second question that was put to me was, what is the most important issue that international justice needs to tackle in the coming year? Of course, there are many we could pick. I mean, what comes to mind is what about Black Lives Matter, the Colombian transitional justice process, or the next ICC prosecutor. Another one that could be important, although for many reasons I think less people pay attention to it or would be willing to advocate for it because it's a bit provocative, it's to close down the Lebanon Tribunal and the extraordinary chambers in Cambodia. I think it's high time that political powers take the responsibility to shut down these courts, since in many respects they're harming international justice far more than serving it. But I'm not going to develop this here. I'd rather share what actually excites me more than what depresses me in the field. There's a sort of multi-dimensional issue that has been boiling for a while, and that seems to me to reach a point where more concrete, more decisive, more daring leaps forward can be taken. It comes from three dynamics, and it's the way they merge or reinforce or feed each other that I find so promising and new and providing opportunities. It's something that we will certainly pay special attention to in our newspaper Justice Info. The first of the three dynamics is the growing momentum for colonial crimes to be addressed in a more thorough way. The second dynamics is now already a cliche. It's the fact that environmental crimes, the destruction of nature, deforestation, land grabbing, are obviously everybody's urgent and future concern, and will be the future of international justice as well. And these two currents are fueling a third dynamics, which is the unprecedented interest in the rights of indigenous peoples. As it happens, indigenous peoples find themselves a bit at the crossroads of the combined demand for a safer environment and for a decolonized society. Canada and New Zealand are probably in the lead on this, but today we are seeing truth commissions dealing with indigenous rights being established in Taiwan, in Sweden, in Norway, in Finland. There are some talks in Japan. It's a hot issue across the Americas, North and South, and there will be more. There are many reasons to find it interesting. It talks more about reparations. It talks less about law and criminal justice and legal procedure. And it's a shift to the global north. Now, the global north is strongly told basically to apply transitional justice to itself and to its own injustices and crimes, rather than talk down the global South into doing it. I think it feels much healthier, it feels refreshing, and it is bound to be creative. There might be less lawyers involved and more people from different backgrounds and fields of work. At least we can hope so. There might be less Western arrogance too. We can give just one example. Right now, as we speak, there is a commission of inquiry that is being discussed and designed in Belgium to deal with the country's colonial past. And one of the things that the Belgians are thinking about these days is to have representatives of the former colonies of Rwanda, Congo, Burundi on board of the commission. So here we are. We have a potential hybrid truth commission where the foreigners would this time be Africans helping the troubled Europeans to keep focus and not to lose purpose. How about that? I don't want to make it more beautiful and more hopeful than it may be, but it has potential for a very different conversation to take place. So this is the important shift ahead to me, the three dynamics momentum on colonial crimes, the environment, and indigenous people's rights. It's not transitional justice accompanying or promoting a dominant ideology onto weaker states or poorer states or less powerful countries. It's more like transitional justice accompanying and promoting a more humbling and perhaps more equal conversation on who we are, how we look at ourselves, and how we understand ourselves. It's also transitional justice adapting to contemporary forms of mass violence that affect millions and facing past violence that still affects millions in our present peaceful democratic societies. In short, it makes transitional justice exciting and more relevant, modest and transformative, and perhaps more universal than it's ever been. So this is what I wanted to share with you on the International Day of Transitional Justice. Thank you, the Wayamo Foundation. Thank you, Mark. And thank you for listening. And my best wishes from Phnom Penh, Cambodia.